Hi, second graders. Welcome back to your TV classroom. Today is Thursday, January 28th, and that means we're almost done with our school week. I hope you did a lot of learning this week, and I hope that you had a great time at home. If you didn't, I hope that the rest of your week is better. And sometimes we just don't have great weeks. I have not great weeks too, and that's an okay thing. Before we begin today, let's check in with our zone. Go ahead and survey your body and your brain. What zone are you in today? Gus? You know, I'm in the green zone. I'm not tired. I'm awake. I'm not too excited. I'm just feeling content. And I'm ready to teach, which means I'm in the green zone today. Oh, Gus, I know why I'm in the green zone today. You know why? Because Oliver did not wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oliver slept through the night, which means I'm in the green zone. Yes, Mr. Kevin?
I was just going to say, I too am in the green zone.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Being in the green zone feels good. If you're not in the green zone today, that's okay. Those feelings are okay and they are valid. I want you to identify them and name them and then figure out what you're going to do about it. Or if you can do anything about it. Sometimes we can't do anything about the reason we're feeling a certain way, and we have to just get through it. And that's an okay thing too. So use some of our strategies if you need to while we play What's Missing Thursday. So here's our first equation. And as always, no, we don't know what that is. And it can feel really, really overwhelming when it's not the other side of the equal sign. But we know we're strong mathematicians and we know that we do know things, don't we? So when we see a problem and we don't know and it feels big and scary, we first identify the things we do know. What do we know in this equation? Yes, we know that when we're done subtracting, we're going to get an answer of 64. What else do we know? We know that we're going to take away 10. I'm going to do this right here. This should be a hint. What do we know? We know the two parts that make a whole. We know that one of the parts is 10, and we know the other part is 64. When we have subtraction and the first part's empty, what's missing? The whole. The whole is missing because we start with a whole, we take away a part, we find the other part. Or we start with a whole and we count the distance between the whole and the ending number, right? So what do we do if we know two parts? Put them together to find the whole. So what is 10 plus 64? It's 74. See, we do know. Okay, what do we know? Let's look at our number bond. We know the whole, and we know the remaining part. The whole is what? 24. And the part we know is 4. Well, what's the difference between 4 and 24? 20. If we have 24 and we take away 20, we will have 4 remaining. See how when we identify what we know, it helps us figure out what we don't know. Okay, what do we know? Again, we know the whole is 24. And we know one of the parts is 14. So what's the other part going to be? Well, if I have 24, how many hops does it take backwards to get to 14? Or if I'm at 14, how many hops does it take to get to 24? 14, 24. How much is that? Yeah, it's 10. 10 plus 14 equals 24 because it's 2 10s and 4 1s. 24. No, not 24. Oh dear, Mrs. Wally. There we go, making mistakes just because we're human. That's what we do. 24 minus 10 equals 14. Right? Does your brain ever do that? Where you're saying one thing and you're thinking another and you write the thing you say instead of the thing you think? Yeah, all the time. Okay. What do we know? We know our parts are 20 and 42. What's missing? We're missing the whole. How do we find a whole? We add them together. What's 20 plus 42? 62. So what is missing? 62. You guys are getting really good at this, friends. Nice job. Last one. What do we know? 30, 36. They are our parts. What's missing? We're missing the whole. What do? Put the parts together. What is 30 plus 36? 66. What's missing? 66. Great job, second graders. All right. Now, if you were getting yourself to green zone, now's the time to come back. You need to make sure that you have your whiteboard today, your pen, your eraser, because today we are practicing, we'll do lots of practicing, how to read and write 3-digit numbers in different forms. Word form, place value form, using base 10 blocks, using place value words, writing the digits. Here we go. Write the same 3-digit number in each of the following ways. You get to pick your number. You're going to write it in standard form. That means using the digits. Expanded form, each value of each digit added together. And word form, the words. Are you ready? Here we go. Pick your number. Mr. Kevin, you can show my whiteboard if you'd like. Pick your number. So you're going to write your number in standard form using the digits first. Let's see. Gus, what number should we do? What do you think? Okay, that's the number Gus said. I have it in standard form. Now I'm going to do it in expanded form. And if I don't remember the value of each one, it might be helpful to put it into a place value chart. 400s, 6 10s, 3 1s. Okay, so this value is 400 plus 6 10s. 6 10s is 60. 3 1s. 400 plus 60 plus 3 equals 463. Expanded form, word form. 463. Ta-da! Now, you might have picked a different number, but you need to have it in standard form. This isn't required, but we use this to help us figure out the value. Expanded form, which is the value of the hundreds place plus the value of the tens place plus the value of the ones place, and then in word form. Okay, reset your board. Let's go on to the next problem. It says, which are other ways to show 2 hundreds and 5 ones? Okay, so first of all, let's get our place value chart. Okay, so we've got hundreds, tens, and ones. And it's saying 2 hundreds and 5 ones. So how many tens are there? 0. Okay, let's go through and see which ones are correct. It says which other ways. So that gives me a hint that I might be dealing with more than one correct answer. So 200 plus 5. If I took 200 plus 5, would I get 200s and 5 ones? Yes, because this is 200 plus 5, right? That's the expanded form. 200, 0 tens, 5 ones. Yeah. Okay, what about 25? Is that a way to write 200s and 5 ones? It's not, because 25 means 2 tens, and we don't have 2 tens. So we know that's not correct. What about 200 plus 50? Well, 50 is 5 tens. Do we have 5 tens? No, so that's not correct. What about the next one? Is that how we write 200s and 5 ones? 205? Yes, that's another correct answer. What about E, 20 plus 5? We don't have 2 10s here. We do have 5 ones, but we don't have 2 10s. So our correct answers were A and D. Okay, go ahead and get your place value chart on your whiteboard. Your empty one. We've got hundreds, tens, ones. Draw the picture you see, which is 300s, 4 10 sticks, and 6 ones. Okay, your whiteboard should look like mine. Now let's write all the ways. What does the model show? Fill in the chart and the blanks. So you're just going to write the things on your whiteboard. So what does the model show? Well, first of all, we need to count up the model. What's the model? Yeah, our base 10 blocks. So go ahead, let's count them. How many hundreds do we see? 3. So where are you going to put that? In the hundreds place. How many tens do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tens. How many ones do you see? 6. Okay. How would we write that in expanded form? What's expanded form? Right, it's where we take each digit's value and add it to the next digit's value. So this first digit is 3, and it's in the hundreds place. So what's the value of that? 300. There's 4 tens. What's the value of that? 40. There's 6 ones. What's the value of that? 6. Expanded form. Now write the number in digits only. And the best part of this is if you put it in a place value chart, all you have to do is erase the place value chart and you have your number, which is 300, 346. 346. There it is. Great job, second graders. Now, a bear at the zoo weighs go ahead and erase your board, weighs 360 pounds. Okay, so 360 is our number. Let's get it in our place value chart. How many hundreds? 3. How many tens? 6. How many ones? 0. Let's write expanded form. What's the value of the 3? 300. I'm using up all my pen. What's the value of the tens? There's 6 tens. What is that value? What is it worth? 60. And the value of the ones is 0. Now, you can write plus 0 if you really want to, but in expanded form, we only write the place values that have value. And if there's nothing in the ones place, there's no value to it. It's nothing. So let's go through all the answers and see if they're true. So a bear at the zoo weighs 360 pounds. Which are true about this number? It is 300 plus 6. Is that true or false? It's false. Why is it false? Right, we don't have 6 ones. We have 6 tens, which is 60. It is 360. True or false? True. That is the correct answer. It is 300 plus 60. See why we did all this work? It is 300 plus 60. Yes, it sure is. It has 300s and 6 tens. Look at your place value chart. Does it have 300s and 6 tens? Yes, it does. It is 316. No, it's 360. See how when you see a multiple choice problem, if you do the math before you look at the answers and you get all your thinking down, how then going through the answers to find the correct one becomes a lot easier, and you're not guessing. These problems are not guess an answer. That's not what they are. They want you to do the math and then find the correct answer based on your work. Write each number in expanded form. All right, here we go. 275. And what you could do is you could just make this into a little place value chart. Hundreds, tens, ones. You see that? And 527. Make your own little place value chart. Hundreds, tens, ones. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I want you to write expanded form for both of these, and then we're going to do it together. Okay. 275. 527. Now our next problem says to look at these two. Why is it that this 7 is 70? This 7 is 7. It's a 7, and it's a 7. Tell your learning buddy, why is it that this 7 has a value of 70 and this 7 only has a value of 7? Turn and talk to your learning buddy. Why is that? Okay, so here's what I heard. I heard because the digit doesn't really mean anything unless it's in a number. And numbers have value depending on where the digit is. And the digit 7 is in the tens place here, which means 7 groups of 10, which is a value of 70. But when the 7 is in the ones place, it means 7 groups of 1, which is just 7. So the digit's value changes depending on where it is in the number. Just like the 5 here is just 5 ones. The 5 here is 500 ones. It's a big difference. So the place value, understanding the value of the digit, depending on where it is in the number, is super important to understanding numbers. Go ahead and reset your board. So I'm going to give you some clues. Are you ready? It's like a little game. Some clues about a 3-digit number. And you're going to see if you can figure out the number is. The number has 7 hundreds. The tens digit has a value of 30. The ones digit is less than any other number, any other digit in the number. What could the number be? Well, what do you think? What do you think, Gus? We know it's going to be 700 something. The value is 30. And the ones digit is less than any other digit in the number. So I'm not sure about that one yet. So let's see if we know we're going to have a 3-digit number. We have 700, so this is going to be a 7. We have 3 tens, so this is going to be a 3. And this digit's going to be less than any digit here. So what could our options be? 732. What else could it be? 730. Yes, Gus, it could be. Or 731. If you wrote any of those numbers down, Give yourself a pat on the back. Nice job. Your assignment today is to do page 340 in your math workbook. Here's a hint. We've already done it. I'm going to see if you can do it on your own without my help. Today we learned to hold on, friends. Today we learned to practice reading and writing. There we go. 3-digit numbers in different forms. We represented a number with base 10 blocks, in expanded form, in a word form, with a place value chart, and we used digits. Now, before you go, you're going to need your ELA packet, your pencil, and your learning buddy for your time with Miss Oslin. If you would like to send information to us here at the TV classroom, maybe you have a question for me. Maybe you want to take a picture of your work and email it to me. Maybe you want to draw us a picture and send it to us here. Here's how you contact us. You can either send it to our email or send it to us in the actual mail here at the TV classroom. And here's the information for that. You're going to have your break, and then you'll have learning with Miss Oslin. Second graders, great job today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm Denise Dillenbeck, concertmaster of the Northwest Sinfonietta, and I'm here to share a moment of music and breath with you today. Let's take a moment to get centered together before we listen to music. Put one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Now breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold your breath at the top for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that together one more time. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. We are living through turbulent times. If you sometimes feel the sadness during all the challenges of this school year, you are not alone. When I'm sad, I turn to music to give my heart a lift. This piece by J.S. Bach is one of the happiest pieces I know. I first heard it on Sesame Street when I was a little girl, and it made me want to play the violin. It's called Gavotte on Rondo, and it's a dance music from Bach's time. If I were to think of words to describe how this music makes me feel, I would say jaunty and joyous. Now you try to think of a word that describes the feeling of the music while I play it for you. If you have room around you, you can also try making your own dance to this music. See what feels right to you.
second graders, welcome back from your break. Excellent job gathering your materials and being ready to go for another exciting lesson with Mrs. Oslin. Let's remind ourselves what we've been working on. Do you remember that really big word that we've been learning? Epistolary. Say epistolary. Epistolary writing is a story in which the story is told from the characters writing letters back and forth. And we're working on becoming writers of an epistolary story. So let's remind ourselves, what are the features of epistolary writing? What do we need to be sure that we include as authors? Well, letters tell a story. We've read some really, really strong examples of that when we read Plantzilla, when we read I Want a New Room, and when we read The Day the Crayons Quit. These are all stories told by letters. Letters are from one or many writers, which can include responses or just one side of a correspondence. Letters can cover a short or long time period, so it can be back and forth really quickly, or it could cover years of time. Letters can be collected in books. Letters may include features of formal or informal letters, but the letters always work to help tell the story. And letters can be written by any character. This is where it gets really fun. They can be written by human, animal, plant, object, as long as the letters help tell a story and make sense in the context, which means whoever's writing the story needs to be involved somehow in the story, or you need to be able to explain why their letter is included. Today, we are learning that when writers create a correspondence between two characters, that's a communication, they need to collect ideas so they can tell a great story. We did some really important thinking about who our characters were on the inside. What are their character traits? What's their personality like? We did some really important thinking about what's happening on the outside of our characters. And that was your independent work, to think about who are the characters that you are going to include in your epistolary writing, who's going to be writing letters back and forth. And today we're going to collect ideas so that you can tell a great story. We're going to do this through letter writing between two characters. And we're going to think about what this story is about. Now, this is Yours Truly, Goldilocks by Alma Flor Ada and illustrated by Leslie Tryon. And what I want you doing, and this is actually a rather long book, so we're not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to read some of the letters. And while we're doing that, I want you thinking about, what is the story about, or what's the point? What's the purpose of these letters between the characters? What is the letter writing accomplishing? Why are they writing the letters? What are they getting from it? Okay, so think about that, and we'll do some pausing and talking and thinking as we read some of Yours Truly, Goldilocks. This is The Hidden Forest. Goldilocks McGregor, McGregor's Farm, Veggie Lane, April 7. Dear Goldilocks, thank you, thank you, thank you. The three of us had a great time at your birthday party. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful party. That is, all three of us think it was wonderful. As you know, we have had a terrible time building our houses. Now that we are sure that no wolf can blow down our new house, no matter how hard he huffs and puffs, we would like to finally have a housewarming party on April 29th. We would be very happy if you were our special guest. We are also sending invitations to Baby Bear, Little Red Riding Hood, and Peter Rabbit. We look forward to a wonderful day. Love, 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 your three neighbors, Pig 1, Pig 2, Pig 3. Now, let's take some time about what is the purpose of this letter. Our first character is Goldilocks. That's who the letter is to. And it's from the three pigs. Why are the three pigs writing to Goldilocks? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Gus, the three pigs wrote to Goldilocks to invite her to their housewarming party. That's one reason to write a letter, is to invite someone. Now, let's keep reading, thinking about our characters and why they're writing these letters. This is April 9th. Little Red Riding Hood, Cardinal Cottage, Riding Lane. Dearest granddaughter, you have such a wonderful imagination. Just to think, a birthday party with bears, rabbits, and pigs? Well, I imagine you and Goldilocks must have bad fun. That can't be the word bad. That doesn't make sense. I think it's the word had. I'm going to go back and reread. Well, I imagine you and Goldilocks must have had fun with your stuffed animals. Goldilocks sounds like a very nice girl. I have known the McGregor family for a long time. Years ago, when I lived on Riding Lane, I used to buy all my vegetables from them. Mr. McGregor is a stern man, but a wonderful gardener. Give a kiss to your mother for me. I hope you can come to see me again soon. I'll be here all day on the 12th. Why not then? But you must keep your promise to stay on the trail this time. That encounter with the wolf was certainly not imaginary. Love, Grandma. Now our characters are Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma. And Grandma is the one writing the letter to Little Red Riding Hood. Take some think time about why she wrote this letter. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Gus, I think Grandma has a couple different reasons for writing this letter. First of all, she is just talking about her imagination. She's giving her compliments, so she's maintaining their relationship. She's also giving Red Riding Hood, giving Red Riding Hood information about Goldilocks and her family, so it's to provide information. Finally, she's inviting Little Red Riding Hood to come visit her, so it's an invitation. Isn't it interesting how letters can have multiple purposes all within one letter? Keep reading. April 9th. Wolfie Lupus, Wolf Lane, Oakshire. Dear Cousin Wolfie, after my humiliation at their hands, my continued surveillance of the porcine? Thank you, that's what I thought. But as soon as I saw it, it looked funny. Porcine, those are the pigs. That's a type of animal, the porcine. Trio, and their friends has finally proven useful. I have been led to believe that there will be a gathering at their house on the 29th of April for a housewarming party. This means that a delicious bunch of morsels, that is guests, will be attending, and I have a stupendous plan to ensure that not all of them will return home. A deep trench on Royal Road after the fork will force them to take Forest Trail. It will not be difficult for us to ambush them there. After their party at that stubborn brick house, we will show them a true party in my majestic tower. What do you think? Why don't you come to stay on the 27th? That will give us ample time for the necessary preparations. Affectionately, Ferocious. Why are these wolves writing letters? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Gus, they're making a plan, and not a good one. Let's read another letter, thinking about what is the character's purpose, and thinking about that so far the letters that we've read have all been from different characters, but they all seem to be connected. That's a really interesting way to tell a story. So as a writer, you might consider using letters from multiple characters to tell a complete story. Goldilocks McGregor, McGregor's Farm, Veggie Lane. Dearest Goldilocks, Have you received an invitation from the three pigs for their housewarming party? After all the fun we had at your birthday, it will be wonderful to all get together again. You'd certainly have interesting friends. I wrote a long letter to my grandmother telling her all about your birthday party, and she doesn't believe it's true that Peter Rabbit, Baby Bear, and the three pigs were there. When I visit her the day after tomorrow, I will take the invitation to the housewarming party and tell her all about it in person, and she will see it as true. Do you want to get together? Oh, do you want to go together to the pigs' party? My mother says it's okay if you want to come the day before and spend the night and she will make some of her special gingerbread cookies. Your friend, Little Red Riding Hood. Now, think about again. Why did Little Red Riding Hood write this letter to Goldilocks? Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Gus, Little Red Riding Hood, I think, wrote this letter to Goldilocks to maintain their friendship and also to give her information that Grandma doesn't believe what happened with them and Baby Bear and the three pigs. And she's also inviting her to come over so they can go to the housewarming party together. Once again, there's multiple reasons for this letter. I'm also noticing that the date on this letter is April 10th, and the first letter that we wrote was April 7th. So in this case, this epistolary writing is taking the place over a couple of days. Yours might take the place over within one day or even years. So think about, as an author, how do you want to tell your story? And this is part of the setting of your story, is when does it take place? I think we have time for one more letter. This one is to Little Red Riding Hood, Cardinal Cottage, Riding Lane, April 12th. Dear Little Red Riding Hood, yes, I did receive the invitation, and I would love to spend the night at your house and go together to the housewarming party. Do you have any idea what one does at a housewarming party? I know the pigs have been trying to have one for a long time. Do you think we bring blankets to warm the house? Baby Bear would like for us to play hide and seek a week from Sunday. His cousins Teddy and Osito are visiting. Do you want to go? I love houses in the forest. Don't you? Be careful on your visit to your grandmother. My father says there definitely still are wolves around. I have to write to the pigs and Baby Bear, and I still need to water 3 rows of vegetables, so I must go. Your busy friend, Goldilocks. Now, Goldilocks is writing back to Little Red Riding Hood. She's saying, yes, I did receive the letter, and I would love to go. She's also asking questions about the housewarming party. That's one feature of a letter, is you ask questions to encourage whoever it's to write you back. She's also giving her information about what she's doing. She has to respond to the party invitation. She has to go finish watering the plants. That's giving her information and also maintaining their relationship. Lots of purposes for letter writing. So I'm going to skip to the end because, as you can see, there are a lot of letters in this book. That's a fun picture. They're all at the party together. Uh-oh. The wolves do come. Now, in your ELA packet, you are going to get out this graphic organizer, A Good Story to Tell. And you're going to think about the 2 characters that you wrote about last time on Tuesday. And you're going to think about, again, remind yourself about your characters on the inside. What's their character traits, their personality, and what's happening around your characters. And you're going to complete this graphic organizer thinking about how the character might respond back to the other character in the form of a letter. So, for example, it says, Character 1 side of the story. Example, Little Red Riding Hood describes her experiences to her grandma in lots of detail. Who was at the party? This is a letter we didn't read. So this is encouraging correspondence, which means they're going back and forth. So you want idea 1, and then think about how character 2 might respond. And then think about another idea for a letter. How might the other character respond? This is going to be an outline for your structure of your story in the form of letters. So think about, why are your characters writing back and forth? And those are your ideas. So you should come up with 4 reasons for them for writing back and forth. And think about how the other character would respond writing back to them. And this is your independent work today. Today we are learning that when writers create a correspondence between 2 characters, they need to collect ideas so they can tell a great story. And you're using that graphic organizer to help you collect 4 ideas, 4 reasons for your writer, why your characters would be writing back and forth. You can send that graphic organizer to your teacher so they know what you're doing. You could also send it to us here at our TV classroom. Our email address is there, tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us, or send it in the mail at TV Classroom. We're at 601 South 8th Street. And we would love to read your ideas about your epistolary writing. We would love to be able to put some of your work on the wall behind us so that other students can see what you are working on. Now, 2nd graders, it's time for our affirmation. This is the time when we get to build ourselves up and say positive things before we go off to complete our independent work. The affirmation that I want you to say to yourself today is, I am worthy. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of kindness, respect, all of those things. So practice saying it with me. I am worthy. Excellent job today, 2nd graders. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.